Hey, I'm Rob Adler, and welcome to Understanding Upstate, the podcast dedicated to exploring what makes upstate New York such a unique place. Each week, my co-host Jim Search and I dive into a new upstate topic to better understand what's up upstate, and this week, we're looking at the dark minds of some of the most dangerous killers upstate New York has to offer.
Oh, yeah. Yo.
Closing out this final episode for our Halloween run with some real terrifying real life shit.
Yo, man, listen, let me tell you something. Upstate New York is that shit's real. Mm-hmm. I've said it across several episodes this month, but I grew up around real monsters, man. So
sure, yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
Some of which I have not only have I shared a high school with, but I also went to the same college as a guy who made it onto Dateline for being a murderer. So,
wow.
Yeah, wild.
I can only say one of those things.
Sure. I mean, so to know that I have been next to real murder is a wild thing to think about. But this week, we're gonna highlight, or I would say lowlight, some of the most nefarious murderers that upstate New York has birthed. So, buckle in, party people! It's about to get real.
It's gonna be a fun one today.
Yeah, it's gonna be filled with mirth and merriment. You're gonna love it, promise you.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, to set the mood, first, everyone should subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, because nothing sets the mood like opening up a podcast app and diving into sub-menus. But if you can do that, that helps us out a lot. Even just sharing an episode with a friend does a lot for us, and it increases the number of Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's that we may have enjoying the show. So do that. And then remember, if you give us a 5-star rating, write us a positive review, you can throw in a suggestion for one of your favorite things. It might be a canal system. I don't know. Just something low-key like that.
Something chill like that.
Yeah. It's a lazy river for boats, right?
Sure.
Come on. It's great. It's great.
And also, I just want to remind all the Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's out there, it is the lowest, just sharing or telling somebody about the show takes less than 2 minutes. You just forward that link onto somebody and you go about your day. It means 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes in your world, but it means the world to us. That's what I would say to that.
There we go. Well, you know what I have to say, Jim?
I don't.
It's time. I don't know if this is really an upstate update, but this is an upstate. Gosh, we've done this before.
Sure.
And I can't think of a quippy pun to name this segment.
Right. I don't know how you'd spin that.
Man. Well, pending a good name for it, sure. I'm going to crack open a beer from upstate New York, which you gifted me.
I did.
Not more than a week ago, I believe.
That's right. Last Tuesday.
I'm going to think of it at the end of the episode, and I'll edit it in, maybe.
All right.
If you don't hear anything, I didn't have any good ideas later. But what I'm going to be drinking, and I'll give some tasting notes. This is Time Enough at Last. We talked about this on the Rod Serling Fest episode. This is a beer brewed for the Rod Serling Centennial by, I believe, Beer Tree Brew. Is that correct, Jim?
Yes, you are correct.
And it's a 6.5% New England style IPA. We got the Rod Serling Memorial Foundation, their logo shouted out here on the can, which is pretty sweet. And it's brewed and canned in good old Johnson City, which we've of course talked about.
Which is the village of Johnson City, ironically enough.
It's the village of Johnson City? That is delightfully confusing.
Yes. It is. If you drive into Johnson City, you will see the sign that says, "Welcome to the village of Johnson City."
There you go.
Just like there's a city of Binghamton and the town of Binghamton. Those are two different places.
You don't say. How have we never talked about this before?
It's true, man.
I'm learning so much, and we're not even to the main segment.
Right. Yeah, no, this is I figure we should get all the light and jovial up front. And the but yeah, there's a city of Binghamton and the town of Binghamton. My homie Matt lives out in the town of Binghamton. He's got a nice place too, man. Looks like a Better Homes and Gardens house.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he's killing it out there.
Speaking of things that look nice, this can looks pretty nice. We got it's kind of like a twilight background. We got some twinkling stars. We got I think one of the things that flies at you in the intro of the show Twilight Zone is a clock. So we got a little like clock face. It's like we're at like 12:20. I don't know, 12:23 it looks like, for anyone who's wondering what time the clock is, which seems oddly specific, but I swear that is the time. Jim, should I stop rambling and crack this bad boy?
I mean, get right to it, baby.
All right, here we go. Let's get it nice and close to the mic.
Bang.
Pretty good. There we go. All right, here we go. Little sip. Oh, that's tasty. That's
yeah.
good.
And strong too. That is
yeah.
You're gonna be feeling it.
I hope our listeners aren't hearing it by the end of the episode. But yeah, it's good. That's a nice got a little hoppiness to it. It's a nice IPA.
I also, and I can't remember if we talked about it on the episode, the Sterling Fest recap, but when I bought these beers, right? Mm-hmm. I was across the street or at the Beer Tree from where I was staying, and I paid with my credit card, and they brought over my credit card in like a giant cigar box, and then I opened it to get to my credit. It was the most like ostentatious presentation to give me my credit card back. So much so that I watched the guy put it in the box, and I was like, "Yo, you could just give it back. Like, you don't have to do this."
The original, I guess if you're paying at a bar, like you close out your tab. It's not like at a restaurant where they bring you your receipt first and then you give them your card, right? So like it's this whole, I get it if you're presenting the receipt, but this is purely just giving you your card back that they've had for a minute, right?
Right, exactly. Like the turnaround.
Literally so extra.
The turnaround time was less than like 2 minutes, right? Because like I walked in and I was like, "Hey, I just came from the Sterling Fest. I hear there's a special beer you guys brewed in like conjunction with it. I'd like to get a couple cans." And then the guy's like, "All right, I got it." Gave me the cans, or I gave him my card, and then he gave me the cans, and then he ran it, and then like gave me the card in the box, and I was like, "Yo, man, you just give me the card back, dude. I ain't even living like that. This is not my ministry. I'm just trying to get back to Peterson's."
Sure. Like, look, if it was a whole Grummond cigar box, I mean,
that might have
shout out an old episode of ours. There you go.
That might have come with me actually, and then we would have had another upstate artifact, if you will, so to speak.
There we go.
So, all right. Speaking of which, are we ready to dive into our first of a bevy of murderers from upstate New York?
Yeah. I also love the word bevy.
Sure.
I think I used it today in something I wrote, so I'm even more ready now.
Sure.
Let's
now,
I don't want to say it too excited. Let's do it.
All right. Let's get ready to be terrified, folks. Now, as I was saying, I was saying this a little bit off mic, but I was trying to find like the least awful of the serial killers, right? Mm-hmm. Which like literally we throw around the lesser of two evils a lot especially lately. We've been throwing that around. But this is, I feel like, a real good definition of just like, all right, y'all, there are some real bad motherfuckers out there. And these are the least of the bad motherfuckers. Still bad. Still bad. There is no redemption arc on any of these folks.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Like, these are just the best of the worst that I could find. All right. So let's get to it. All right. Our first serial killer is Gary Evans. All right. Gary Charles Evans was born October 7th, 1954 in Troy, New York, to Roy and Flora Mae Evans. Evans was also known as a thief and had a penchant for stealing antiques, with his numerous escapes from custody that kept him in the news headlines as he committed more crimes.
Do you think he was like stealing commemorative plates and like, you know, collectible spoons? You know, those are general things to see in an antique shop.
I feel like that would make him more of like a supervillain if that was what
Sure.
he had a penchant for.
Sure, sure.
In this case, I feel like whatever's going to get him the most money is what old Gary was after. So Evans was not just a thief, but also a serial killer. Now, we're about to see how this started, right? The origin story, if you will, of Gary, right? Now, Gary grew up in an unstable home with physical abuse from his father that was also targeted at Gary, his mother, and his siblings. So, here you go. In addition to the abuse, Gary and his siblings also had to live through their mother's suicide attempts. So, chill vibes. Gary's, you know, just even keel and not living in a world of absolute chaos and entropy. And that, folks, is sarcasm. Now, Gary began to show interest in works of art and pricey items, and at the age of 8, he was caught stealing jewelry worth $1,000, which is a pretty good heist for an 8-year-old.
And in like, you know, that would have been what, 1962? $1,000 in 1962?
Sure.
Where the hell did he find a $1,000 piece of jewelry in Troy, New York in 1962? That would be what, I don't know. That would be much more money today.
It would, if I hazard a guess, I bet you're probably looking at like $6-7 grand today.
Yeah.
Good heist, dude. Now, during his school years, he began repeatedly stealing small items such as books and comic books and occasionally shoplifting, which earned him the reputation as a thief. Shame on you, Gary. Shame on you. Now, after his parents divorced in 1968, Gary and his mother moved to Cohost, New York, right outside of Albany. After her divorce from Gary's father, she remarried and divorced 4 more times before coming out of the closet as a lesbian. Well, good.
That's a lot of marriages.
That is a lot. That's a lot of dudes to marry, to then be like, you know what, I'm gay. Let me just get on with it, right?
Yeah.
So we can add that level of trauma into Gary's life as to why mom was so unstable prior to, because she was living in a secretive world, not the best look. Sorry to hear that, Gary's mom, Flora Mae. In summer of 1970, Gary was arrested for a little breaking and entering, for which he was sent to a juvenile detention center. After his release, Evans left his mother's house due to frequent quarreling, dropped out of school, and began living his life as a vagrant. Now, I'm going to be honest here. I had a feeling this was coming, because this is not a trajectory in which Gary goes on to college and becomes an astrophysicist. Don't know if that's what we're looking at. Okay. Now, in the mid-70s, Evans returned to Troy, where together with his childhood friends, Michael Flacco and Tim Reisendorf, rented an apartment and got a job.
I love how we got Tim Reisendorf. Like, just put in Tim in the biography.
Right. I feel like if it was like a more, I'm not clever enough for a
Timothy
a
Slick,
Tim.
Slick
Sure.
or Slim Reisdorf, like anything other than just his shortened name. It's a little weird.
Oh, well, you just wait, sir.
Sure.
You just wait. So Evans was arrested for trespassing and stealing property in Lake Placid, which we've talked about, for which he was given a 4-year sentence in the Clinton Correctional Facility in Dannemora. Clinton, Max, not a fun place to be. Gary then returned to his apartment in Troy, and soon after, together with Flacco and Reisendorf, began committing robberies and thefts using the apartment as a storage place to sell the stolen goods. In June of 1980, Evans was arrested for theft and imprisoned at the old Rensselaer County Jail. Evans and Flacco robbed an antique collector's apartment in East Greenbush in February of 85, with a profit being around $15,000, which in upstate could buy you East Greenbush. All right. By July of that year, he would commit his first murder by killing his accomplice Michael Flacco in their shared apartment in Troy and dismembering the body with a chainsaw.
Oh,
so
things
much
have escalated. Holy shit.
Right. So much for that friendship. This is a childhood friend. All right.
Wow.
So Gary is a less than stable man, and I would argue a piece of shit for that. Now, this is where things go. This is where Gary really tests some waters here.
Yeah.
Gary then called Reisendorf to help him get rid of Flacco's body, and they buried it in the backyard. What a hard ask of a friend.
Yeah.
Right? Because you see, you know what I mean? It's like you see these like these bumper stickers or like memes and shit where it's just like, a friend will help you, but a real friend will help you move the body. That's a joke.
Yeah. Sure.
All right. It's supposed to be a joke.
But
Gary,
I would not at this point. There was a time in my life in my early 20s where I would have asked a friend to help me move. Right.
Sure.
I think that's a big ask. Right. I would not do that now. I can't imagine making that ask of anyone. That's insane.
I really thought you were about to say, like, in my 20s, I would ask someone to help move a body. And
Sure.
I was like, what?
Sure.
Rob,
No.
What is going on here, dog? All right. The motive for the murder was revenge, as Reisendorf had told Gary that Flacco had been profiting off their loot by selling it for himself.
So, do we know if that's true, or is that just something that
we don't know.
Reisendorf told Gary to get rid of the other guy, right? Like,
right, like get him out of the picture, type of. We don't know that to be true. What we do know as fact is that Gary murdered his friend and then cut him up with a chainsaw.
Yeah, I'm focusing on the wrong details,
life,
I think.
I mean, fair question, but I don't have the answer for that. But again, I do have the answer for what has gotten Gary probably, if hell exists, probably there. After years of committing more crimes, 4 years after the murder, okay, at least 4 more murders, and attempting to evade the law, Evans was tracked down in St. Johnsbury, Vermont on May 27th, 1988, where he was apprehended and eventually confessed that he had committed several murders, giving details about each. So he has been very busy. I think it was
1998. It was even longer.
Oh, sorry. You're right. 1998.
He's been out there murdering and stealing for over a decade, right? Yeah, like 13 years.
Yeah.
I'm so glad we have
just
some modern technology to limit some serial killer runs. That's wild.
I feel like after the first murder, that was probably enough of murdering. But that's just my appetite. Maybe 0. On August 12th, 1998, Evans was arraigned at the Rensselaer County District Court and was charged with the 3 murders. He was then transferred to the Albany County Jail, where he was charged with parole violations before the local court. 2 days later, while en route to Troy and passing through the Mendens Bridge, Evans, despite being in manacles and chained, used a secret key hidden in his nose, which is very impressive, to free himself. Had a key.
I read
in
that
his
just
nose.
before you got it, and my mouth hit the floor. What the fuck? How do you even get the key?
He hid that.
What the fuck? That's wild.
If you got a decade of stealing and murdering, you've got some tricks up your sleeve or up your nose in this case.
Well done.
Thank you. Evans then plunged from the bridge to his death.
That's
friends,
just the first one, Jim. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's the first. We've got 2 more to go. We got 2 more.
Oh my God.
Yo, well, I'm telling you, the third one is going to get wild. All right.
Okay.
Now, folks, Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. Y'all are out there like, man, how come men are dominating the murder game? Is there representation for women out there to be murdering just as much? Well, yes. Also, there's podcast Sisters Who Kill that we listen to in our house as a little bit of a side note. Because our household, we get into true crime on the regular. But this ain't it. I'm telling you right now that there are serial killers that are ladies. Okay? In fact, introducing Lizzie Halliday. In the 1890s, when times were nice and chill, Lizzie Halliday became known for being New York's first lady of serial killing. First one to do it. Bang.
What a regal title.
Mm-hmm.
The lady of serial killing. What a weird.
She's the first lady of serial killing. I wrote it that way.
Oh, that's your penmanship. I love it. Not lady serial killer. Lady of. It's like an official title that way. I like it. It's well done.
There's a crown. It was a nice ceremony of sorts, right? So Halliday's criminal record includes at least 4 murders, including the heinous killing of 2 female acquaintances and her 6th husband, and that is underlined and in bold. 6th husband, whom she stabbed, shot, and mutilated.
Can you imagine how lucky husbands 1 through 5 felt? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Listen, I remember they were like, I remember when I left the toilet seat up, I dodged a bullet. I dodged a real bullet out there.
Sounds like they dodged a bullet and a knife. For being accurate.
Yeah, they dodged a variety of things that kill. Now, additionally, she had a peculiar propensity for arson, evidenced by her burning down various properties, including the saloon and the homestead of 2 of her murder victims. So she ain't just killing, she's wiping you off the earth, right?
Jeez.
Now, despite being sentenced to death by electrocution, Halliday's fate differed from her intended end. The governor of New York commuted her sentence due to apparent mental instability, which landed her in the Mattawan State Hospital for the criminally insane. However, her confinement did not halt her penchant for violence, and she managed to even kill a nurse in the institution by stabbing her 200 times with scissors. That's a lot. Halliday's infamy as New York's most notorious female serial killer endures to this day.
Sounds like with good reason.
Yeah. She, you know what they say? It's just like when you're breaking into a male-dominated field, you really got to go above and beyond, right? So,
sure.
you know, you gotta kill it. You gotta kill it.
Oh boy, Jim, you gotta kill it. Oh no.
Yeah, sure. This is where we are.
Yeah, it is.
Now, folks, I saved what I would consider the most, I don't want to say best, but I feel like this is probably the most intriguing story of the three that I've brought to the table here.
Okay.
All right. So, our third, Lizzie being our penultimate, Edward Ralliff is our finale, our season finale of Murderers Above New York City. All right. So, John Edward Howard Roloff, also known as Roloff with one L, Rolfeson or Rolofeson, as well as several aliases, was a Canadian-born, don't worry, there's a lot of upstate shit coming soon, American medical doctor, lawyer, schoolmaster, photographer, inventor, carpet designer, phrenologist, and philologist, in addition to being a career criminal and serial killer.
Jim, we already talked about the senior Rockefeller. Why are we bringing him up again? If you recall, he had a similarly long laundry list of, shall we say, passions.
Sure. This is a true Renaissance man.
It sounds like
of murder. So the dichotomy was exemplified in the title of his 1871 biography, The Man of Two Lives. He was also known as the Genius Killer.
It sounds like the man of at least 10 lives. What are they? 2 lives? Carpet designer and lawyer, schoolmaster, photographer? That's not even half of them.
I feel like if, I don't want to speak on behalf of Edward here, but I feel like the inspiration for the title of Two Lives lies in one of them involved murder and the other one didn't.
Sure.
And that is the demarcation line between Edward's one side and the other.
Well, for the record,
right?
I am definitely a man of one life.
Sure. I'm not out here. I'm not out here living two lives either, man. Because I couldn't kill anybody. That's crazy. Although my girlfriend would be like, "That's what a murderer says." Anyway, so Roloff's 2 lives were both premature. By the time he was 20 years old, he had already worked in a law firm and served 2 years in prison for embezzlement. So out of the gate.
Wow.
Out of the gate. He has larceny in his heart. In 1842, he moved to Dryden in upstate New York. I've been through Dryden.
Where's Dryden? Whereabouts are we?
It is northwest of Binghamton, I believe.
Okay.
So a little bit north of the old B-town. Where he worked as a school teacher and studied botanical medicine with Dr. Henry W. Bull. The following year.
School teacher?
Yeah.
And botanical medicine. Okay. Keep going.
I'm telling you, man.
I'm keeping up.
This is great. All right. Yo, wait till we get to the end. You're just going to get wilder. The following year, Roloff impulsively married Bull's 17-year-old cousin, Harriet Schutt, with no formal courtship and against the wishes of the Schutt's family, who considered him beneath their station, which I feel is accurate because he wanted to marry a 17-year-old.
Yeah, that's it sounds like a degenerate.
Yeah. Sounds like a real piece of work. and or what we would call a predator. So the couple moved to Lansing, New York, where Harriet gave birth to daughter Priscilla. Roloff wanted to be farther away from his wife's family and pressured her to move to Ohio, where he planned to work as a lawyer or college professor. This is wild.
Yeah.
When Harriet refused and threatened to return to her family with their daughter on June 22nd, 1844, Roloff accused her of having an affair with Bull and fatally hit her on the head with a pestle and then fatally poisoned his daughter. Yeah. I'm telling you, this is a real piece of work here. Roloff decided to commit suicide, but he found himself incapable. The next day, he borrowed a horse and wagon from his neighbors, the Andersons, with the pretense of returning a wooden chest to his uncle.
Can you imagine asking your neighbors to borrow their cars? Hey, can I borrow your car? I gotta return some wood. No. Absolutely not.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, obviously, if you are a full-on serial killer at this point, you have, as he said, 2 lives. You're able to kind of turn on and off, like, the murderous rage for, like, charm and beguile, right? So, besides the chest, the Andersons saw Roloff placing a half-full sack or pillowcase in the wagon, then driving towards Cayuga Lake in the opposite direction of his declared destination.
I thought he was a genius. I thought that was the...
Now, this is Baby's first murder, so I feel like, he got that going. But yeah, I'm not like a real Columbo out here, but if I didn't know any better, I'd feel like there's something amiss here. Mm-hmm. When Roloff returned, still with the chest, he told Mrs. Anderson that he and his wife would be out of town for a couple weeks and left his house in complete disarray. Liar. 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 Now, Roloff returned amid rumors that he had killed his wife. Confronted by the Schutz, he denied any murder and claimed first that his wife had abandoned him, then that they moved to Ohio together.
Oh, that's a weird...
Neither statement.
That's a weird way to... You can't pivot your story like that.
Right. I feel like it's like, I am a genius except when it comes to murder.
Hey, look, there's no true crime podcast. There's no Dateline. There's no way to learn, but except by doing, I guess, right?
Yeah, this is uncharted water, right?
Yep.
He is not sure how to get there. So neither statement was believed because Harriet's clothes and personal items had been found in the house, implying that she had not left on her own accord. Roloff fled for a second time, which is so crazy because he came back and was like, yo, I didn't do it. And they're like, well, but like, where's her shit? And he's like, oh shit, I'm out. And then he left.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. But he was pursued by his brother-in-law, Ephraim Schutt, who had apprehended him and brought to Ithaca to stand trial for murder.
That's crazy. Can you, like, if I had a task of finding one person that was on the run, just like, let's just say it's hide and seek, nothing nefarious like murder, just like you have to find this person who's hiding like their life depends on it. I would find that task possibly unsurmountable, right? Like, you would think...
Sure.
But particularly in what, the late 1800s? Or are we in not even late, mid-1800s. Yeah. How do you find a person? This guy, Ephraim, real Sherlock Holmes type. Well, good job.
He said, "You ain't fitting to murder my fucking family like that." fuck you, dude. So Cayuga Lake was dredged in an attempt to locate the bodies, but they were never found. As the grand jury was unwilling to indict Roloff for the murder without a body, he was instead accused of kidnapping his wife. Roloff conducted his own defense at his trial. Of course he did. In 1846, focusing on the lack of evidence that any crime had been committed. Nevertheless, he was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years with hard labor in Auburn prison. Now, Roloff is in prison, right? And this is where this is where a wrinkle in the story happens, right? So, while incarcerated...
I was going to say, our story does not end here.
No, it does not.
Seems like there's a lot more.
It gets pretty nutso. Not that it hasn't
sure.
already. Let's just say we're getting deeper. So while incarcerated, Roloff taught himself philology and formulated his own theory about language evolution, which he intended to publish under the title "The Great Secret in Philology" after his release.
Jim, I definitely know what philology is, totally 100%. But if there was anyone that didn't know what it meant, could you maybe tell them?
Be interested in learning about that. I was just about to get there. So the branch, philology it's the study of language, the branch of knowledge, and this is the exact definition, right? The branch of knowledge that deals with the structure, historical development, and relationships of language or languages.
Interesting.
So the study of language, right? So he was even allowed to teach students in his cell. What a gem. However, his hopes of starting a career in the field were dashed when he was informed that the Tompkins County would charge him with the murder of his wife as soon as he was released. Which immediately, because I know what's going to happen here, I would have the same argument he did. Roloff claimed double jeopardy and started a legal battle from jail. Once I am found not guilty, you can't do it again, right?
Yeah. There's a whole movie about it.
Sure. The district attorney dropped the charge for Harriet Roloff's murder, but replaced it with one for Priscilla. Oops.
Ooh.
Roloff was, in turn, found guilty of this crime in 1858, but escaped custody before the verdict reached him. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Roloff was likely assisted in this escape by the son of Ithaca's undersheriff, Albert Jarvis, who had been tutored in Greek and Latin by Roloff, and would later become his partner in crime. These are just like
wild.
I'm telling you, this is like, these are not average criminals and serial killers and crazy people. No. These are like, I'm telling you, it's intriguing. Or by Jarvis's mother, Jane, who had also befriended Roloff and publicly manifested her disbelief in his being a murderer. Whatever the case, Roloff fled west alone and on foot. He fed on wild nuts and food stolen from farms and lost 2 toes in frostbite. Wow. Now you're going to want to file this for later.
This is going to be relevant information later. I'm excited.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is a fucking tale. I mean, if there is not a movie, it should be here. So Roloff moved to New York City with Jarvis, where they survived as burglars.
And this guy is a former sheriff? Undersheriff? I've never heard of an undersheriff before, to be honest. I'm curious what that is. But this guy's so fucking charismatic that he convinced a man of the law to bust him out and go start robbing people. That's a very different career trajectory.
Right. Which who saw it coming?
Right.
Who among us, right? So, in 1861, Roloff was arrested and sentenced to serve 2.5 years in Sing Sing prison, which is now Ossing Prison. There, he met his second partner in crime, William T. Dexter. In 1869, Roloff learned of the forthcoming first convention of the American Philological Association in Poughkeepsie and sent his manuscript detailing his theory on language evolution, which he titled Method in the Formation of Language.
What are the odds that would be in Poughkeepsie? Right? Like, why?
Right.
Jim, we've got a future episode. I'm just going to copy and paste this right here. And,
Sure.
Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. Stay tuned. We'll talk more about the American I can't say that word. Philological Association in Poughkeepsie.
This is like, it's going to be like a backdoor pilot for that episode. And sent a manuscript detailing his theory in language evolution, which he titled The Method in the Formation of Language. He used the alias Professor Yuri Loriot and announced his intention to auction the manuscript for a starting sum of $500,000.
Whoa!
That is a very high... That's strong.
It's like $1 trillion in today's money. What the fuck?
Sure.
Wow.
Hey, listen, you know what? There are artists, there are rappers out there that sell albums for $700.
Sure.
An album. So, hey, if you can get it.
Sure.
So, listen, it's not far-fetched to be like, yo, give me $500,000 for this here manuscript. Shit. I tried to sell a Biggie Metro card for like $700 on eBay once.
What'd you get? Like
Let's see who wants it.
$650?
I got 0.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Did not.
Hey, look, you can still swipe it. Those swipes are still good for another, at least a few more months before they get rid of them.
Sure. Yeah. So Roloff believed that his findings would revolutionize the field. The association rejected him, and none of its members bid for the text.
Brutal.
Get out of here. On to the next portion of his life, entitled The 607 Heist.
Wow.
See, I was going to bring it back. I told you, man. I got 607 reasons for y'all to tap in.
We're running all over upstate New York with this guy. This is great. This is great. Aside from all the murders and everything else.
Sure.
All the other terrible things.
Murdering his wife.
Yeah.
His kid. Yeah, that's bad news. But as far as upstate representation, he's making sure that it's known that upstate also murders as well. Yeah. So Roloff, Jarvis, and Dexter's plan was the robbery of a dry goods store in Binghamton, New York. In 1870, while the two live-in clerks, Frederick Merrick and Gilbert Burroughs, slept upstairs, the trio burned chloroform in an attempt to ensure that the employees would sleep through the ordeal, but they awoke when Jarvis stumbled on something. Merrick first attempted to shoot Roloff with a gun that he had kept under his pillow, but it failed to discharge. After that, he grabbed a stool and threw it at a fleeing Roloff. Meanwhile, Burroughs grabbed Dexter and proceeded to beat him.
Wow.
When Merrick joined Burroughs, Jarvis and Roloff came to Dexter's rescue, and Roloff fired a warning shot into the air. Burroughs stopped, but Merrick threw himself at Jarvis. Roloff fired a second warning shot, and when Merrick did not desist, he pointed the gun at Merrick's head and fired, killing him instantly. Violence.
Yeah.
In their disorderly escape, the robbers missed the boat that was to ferry them across the Shenango River, and instead attempted to swim across the river.
Oh.
Not a good move. Yeah. Historically speaking, not a good place to go. The exhausted Jarvis and Dexter were unable to keep up with the current and drowned.
Wow.
Though, after Roloff's arrest, there was speculation that he may have drowned them.
Sure.
Their bodies were recovered in the morning. Roloff made it across, but he left behind a couple of leather boots with a distinctive depression where his missing toes would have been.
Oh my God.
All right, I told you to file it for later.
Yeah, smart.
Told ya.
Smart. I've seen the Shenango River, in that part of Binghamton. We've got the Shenango and
Sure.
I always forget the other.
Susquehanna.
Susquehanna. I always say Hana. Rookie mistake.
I say Hannah because I am from upstate New York, and there's a lot of hard A's we're throwing around out there.
I'm from Minnesota. There's a lot of hard A's there too, and the accent has slowly just left, unfortunately. Anyway, I would say I'm trying to remember which one is which. One, definitely you look at it and you're like, I could maybe get across that. Another, you're like, oh no, definitely not.
So one thing to keep in mind about that is the undertow and undercurrent of the river, right?
Well, and you have the confluence right there too. So there's like a lot of weird water movement. Like I'm not jumping in anytime soon. Despite the people you saw tubing there.
Sure, yeah. And that's the thing, right, is that there are like shallow... Now, you also... Well, here's the other thing that's, I think, of importance to point out, that this was in like the 1800s, right? This is 1870 or so.
I'm sure they're wearing about 50 layers of clothing, like big overcoats.
And also, like the river levels, I would venture to say are probably very different than they were now, right? So there's some other factors I think that might have contributed also to being drowned.
And we don't know what time of year it is too. If it's any time other than like August, right? Like that's just cold.
Yeah, I feel like that would be there's a lot of factors here. So on to the dramatic conclusion of our last murderer, Edward. Arrest and execution. Alerted by Burroughs, the Binghamton police organized patrols and rounded up men who looked suspicious. That's always a red flag. The next morning, Roloff made himself a suspect when he ignored a request to identify himself at a local railroad station and ran across the train tracks to a nearby farm's outhouse where he was captured.
That'll do it.
Roloff's when the police ask you who you are and you say, I'm out, historically never goes well. Roloff identified himself first as Charles Augustus and then later as George Williams. He was brought before the bodies of Dexter and Jarvis, which had been publicly displayed to help identify them.
Wow.
He denied knowing them.
That's one way to do it. Holy moly.
Sure. Look at these dead bodies. You know those motherfuckers? However, Roloff himself was recognized by another onlooker, Judge Ransom Belcom.
What a name for a judge. Judge Ransom.
Sure.
It's terrifying.
That's almost like a Judge Judy.
Sure.
I
was going to say it's like a Judge Dredd character, but Judge Judy too.
Yeah. She's no joke. So, Judge Ransom Belcom said, "You are Edward H. Roloff. You murdered your wife and child in Lansing in 1845. He then turned to the authorities and warned, this man understands his rights better than you do and will defend them to the last. Documents found on Dexter and Jarvis's body later led investigators to a Brooklyn apartment owned by Roloff under yet another name, Edward C. Howard."
Wow.
Man, he was
everywhere.
He was running. Yeah, he was doing crime everywhere, baby. This guy's a real monster. Roloff's execution on May 18th, 1871, was not the last public hanging in New York State. Some sources claim he gave a speech on the gallows, ending it with, "Hurry it up. I want to be in hell in time for dinner. Other sources say his only statement was, I can't stand still. And the final thread of this story here. His brain was taken to Cornell University after his execution, where a professor, Burt Wilder, declared Roloff's brain to be the largest on record with a volume of 1,673 cubic centimeters.
Oh, the brain on this guy.
Look at the brain on Brad. A little Pulp Fiction for y'all out there.
Pretty good.
It is on display at the Wilder Brain Collection in the psychology department of Cornell.
We've just added a second topic today. It's the Wilder Brain Collection.
There it is. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Dear.
What a wild place to be, man.
Oh, we're going to be there soon enough.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Speedy Freaks and Rattlesnake Pete's. That concludes our 3 serial killers of upstate New York with varying degrees of horrible actions.
I'm blown away. Blown away. That was well done. Standing ovation.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Thank you. It was look, man, when it comes to terror and some real horrible shit, Upstate got it. Upstate's got it. There's a lot going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, again, you've been dropping breadcrumbs all month long, much like a bumbling serial killer would. Not bumbling, about how there are real life monsters amongst us here in the great state of New York, and
Sure.
I believe, Jim. I believe.
I think it's true. I find it to all be true. And yeah, man. And also on some real shit, man, if you just go to Dateline NBC, man, and just type in upstate New York, it is very represented. There's a lot of killing happening that Dateline decides to cover. So if you're so inclined,
all right, or
tap right in there.
Just go to the Brain Museum, see what's cooking over there.
Or sure, you can see what pure violence is lurking in that delightful exhibition over there. You know what I mean? Go forth and be great, party people. So that's what I've got,
Jim.
Yes.
That's what you've got in terms of some of the most palatable serial killers that upstate New York has to offer. What do you have in ways of the most palatable comedic offerings? Palatable is not the right word, but that's the transition we've got.
We're gonna work with what we got here. We're gonna go live. Fuck it, we're going live. So let's say you are a member of the Binghamton Police Department and you are just rolling around because there's rumblings of a botched robbery / murder, and you're just spent from all that research and investigation and all that stuff, and you want a reprieve. You want a gentle reprieve to get you through that. Well, I got you in the form of a comedy album called Upstate Understandings. It is available on all digital streaming platforms. You can get it at jimsearch.bandcamp.com. Masterfully produced by Rob Adler. It is a tour de force. It is a journey that starts in Binghamton and takes you to New York City. God damn it. Go buy them. The holiday season's around the corner. If you buy one, you can buy 10. God damn it. So get out there, buy some merch, buy a copy of the album. Go be great. If you are looking for me, you can go to jimsearchcomedy.com. That's a good place to see like show dates and all that fun jazz. All social media, I'm at Jim Search. Follow me for any sort of Western beef or polo related talk. I got you there, buddy. Say less. I'll hold you down. That's what I got. Rob, they've purchased the album. They've purchased some merch. They have fulfilled my obligations. Mm-hmm. What can you offer them in these uncertain times?
Look, let's just say that you're a little down. You just found out that you're only the second largest brain on record at the Wilder Brain Collection. And you're in your feelings about it a little bit. You certainly didn't murder anyone or anything, but you're only number 2. So what you're going to do is you're going to head on over to brooklynfrequency.bandcamp.com. You're going to grab my album, New York Sticky. You're going to throw it on, and man, you're going to forget all about the whatever cubic centimeters any other brain is. You're gonna vibe on a great instrumental album of music inspired by go-go, disco, and funk. Hey, I remembered all 3 this time. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Love it.
Oh, no, it's not disco. I fucked it up again. Go-go, funk, and boogie. There it is, boogie. Anyway, I digress. You're going to put that on. You're going to feel great about just being a brain, living in a jar. You can get back to basics. So go grab that album. Sure. links in the description for all of these. There's also a really great short documentary that Jim and I put together that's a behind-the-scenes look at the making of his album. So go check that out. It also features the Shenango River. You can see the confluence. You can see exactly what we're talking about today. You can eyeball it and be like, I can make it across that river. Or you can be like, hell no, I'm not jumping in. Just go take a look at that documentary.
That's crazy.
It's about midway through, I think, when we're gazing at the Shenango. We got a nice panoramic shot in there. It's beautiful. Anyway, again, link in the description for all those things. Remember, don't forget to rate, subscribe, and share an episode or share this episode with a friend. Again, it helps us out a lot. Jim, do we have a topic? Do we have a topic for next week?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, we do. We sure do. I will say this. Next week is going to be filled with some real crooked mouths. I will say that.
I like it. Jim.
Yes.
I have yet again failed to come up with a closing transition ahead of time. But hey, I just came up with one. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's go. Let's get it.
Jim, I was just hanging out in Binghamton and the police just rustled me up for looking suspicious, so I need to call up a lawyer. Let's get on out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
It's time to get out of here. Get out of here, man. Understanding Upstate is a podcast hosted by Jim Search and Rob Adler, edited by Rob Adler, and music from Regal Monk.